November 3rd, Craig Hospital update. I am just sitting, it must be a 9:20 daylight savings time tonight, so it's actually 8:20. Just hanging out. Dad and my brother-in-law Arno just left. My brother-in-law Ryan just flew out this morning. Miss you already, buddy. Wish you could be here. Arno came in, Carrie's husband, for the weekend. He'll be here till Tuesday. Just a little getaway. I haven't seen him since the accident, so it's really great that he's here. Arno, I'm really happy you came. And Carrie, thanks for letting him get away. It always is tough, I'm sure, with those two girls by yourself. Annika and Nina, her daughters are 4 and 6, so they can definitely be a handful, but they are cute as hell. Annika made me a book today. Bear with me, actually, I can go grab it to show you guys. Arno brought it along. So she's in kindergarten and already raising the bar, writing books, drawing pictures. Okay, hold on, I'm trying to navigate here in my room. And drawing pictures for me in full color. This one's not a color book. This one she did in pen. I'm gonna get back to the light. Hold, please. Reversing. I'm in the power chair today. My fancy manual chair that I just gotten, actually a new demo chair on Thursday. That was it's called Motion Composites, I think is the name of the company. It doesn't mean it's a composite frame, but it's a lightweight chair, so it's about 30 pounds compared to probably like 40 with the other chairs. But better quality components, obviously, bearings and things like that make a huge difference. So for me, I got in that chair and all of a sudden I was able to move. Because the other chairs are that beat up. I think a lot of the bearings and demo chairs that Craig have, they got a lot of people that they have to put in chairs constantly, so things get used quite frequently. But they have a demo chairs and a lot of the nicer stuff so that you can try and figure out what you like while you're here, so they can prescribe a chair. So anyways, there's the book. It's getting whitewashed because I'm really disappointed in the lighting today in my room tonight. Try this again. Maybe you can see that. It says Annika H. and Nina H. Illustrated pictures by Annika H. And there you go. Annika. Nina's 4 years old. Annika is 6 years old. So it is a lengthy paperback, as you can see, 6 or 7 pages. I will not bore you with the details, but there's the back cover. Pretty good. I'm impressed. So thanks, Annika. Good story. I like that you guys got the little people in the end. You and Nina took care of it and had fun. So yeah, great. Thank you, Annika, and Arno and Carrie, of course. Speaking of chairs, let's go back to that real quick. This week, Thursday, we had to do a script for my power chair because I have to have that. I have to have something to discharge in. So the discharge date, December 5th, still looming. It takes 4 to 6 weeks to order these power chairs because they are, I guess, somewhat custom fit for every person. So went through that on Thursday. It was a long meeting with Rose and Laura and Kelly. Those are kind of my therapists in this, making decisions time. And so I went with a company called Quantum, and they make a front-wheel drive chair called a Forefront. That's just a clever name for a front-wheel drive chair. but it doesn't mean anything other than it's a newer design than the other option, which is called Permobile. I'm not even sure how to pronounce it, but they are. Permobile makes a front-wheel drive, looks kind of the same, but the forefront had a little better suspension. In my mind, it rode a little better. They had a little better design that way at speed, because I mean things do go 6.5 miles an hour, and you can definitely feel the bumps as you're cruising down the sidewalks and trying to get somewhere. So, I kind of think about it as a car. I mean, it's as expensive as a car when you add it up. Insurance does cover one chair purchase, for you to discharge in. And for me, I'm not strong enough yet to go up a hill that's big or super steep. So it can definitely create some limitations if I was out on the town or going to work or trying to get on the bus. I mean, you can get stuck in a manual chair still until you get really strong. And even the strongest wheelers, as I would say, will still have their moments where there's things that are obstacles. So that's why I chose, I've got to get a manual chair to start, because my current condition is like, yeah, I can use my arms, I can push, but I'm limited as far as strength until time goes by. I mean, anybody that gets in a chair, no matter who you are, you're going to take some time to develop those muscles, because it's all pretty new and challenging. So I was just excited because I got in that new chair and I actually felt like I could go places around the hospital really comfortably. So then I'm sitting there and we're getting ready for the hockey game last night, which I'll get to in a minute. And I'm eating a salad, not anything like a donut or potato chips or hot dogs. I'm like eating a salad, getting ready for the hockey game, and the tire explodes on my fancy new chair that we were going to take to the rink. Random, totally random. Not because I'm a fat ass, just because it was just bad luck. So anyways, we had to quickly go back to a different chair to get ready for the game, in which it was like in a half hour, so we're like scrambling a little bit. But anyways, the team at Craig, of course, just like they always do, just figured it out, showed up with another chair, put me in it real quick, and we weren't even late for our game. But pretty awesome, so thank you, as always. So yeah, that brings me to last night. If you didn't see the pictures, on Friday, Rose, my PT, got my dad and my brother-in-law, Ryan, trained on how to transfer me from my chair into a car using this sling that's called a comfort carrier. So most people do what's called a slide board transfer. So if you haven't had a chance to look that up, look it up. But since I have a skin condition, they don't want me doing slide board transfers until that is cleared up. I came up with this idea to use the comfort carrier, which is basically a sling that wraps me up kind of like a human burrito. And that then allows people there's a couple handles on the side, so people can lift you up and just kind of, load you in. So it takes 3 people to do that, and my friend Brandon, he came in to the game as well, so he came and helped us load up and got me into the minivan, Monty, Laura and Ryan's minivan, and went to the hockey game. We went to a University of Denver, or DU as they call it, versus Western Michigan hockey game, just something to get away, and it was cheap and good hockey. So took the van, first van ride in, since my injury, or first car ride since my injury. So I can't tell you how exciting that was, and then how liberating that feels to be able to get into a car and just go somewhere, even though I can't drive. But it's like, wow, I can looking out the window and there we go. And the world gets a lot bigger really fast. My little microcosm of Craig, as I've talked about before, that's kind of this little campus, and yeah, I can go 15 miles in my chair, but boy, I don't want to be 15 miles away from Craig just yet. It's a long ways if something goes wrong, and trouble is still getting back by myself. So though the power chair will give me some freedom, like as much freedom as a car, it's just nothing like getting in the car with your friends and your family and going for a ride. So, yes, Ryan, Dad, Brian, Brandon, thank you for taking me out last night. That was super fun, and I was a little emotional about it, but it was just walking into the stadium was really energizing. Love hockey. Miss it, but still glad I played and have had played my whole life, so I understand the game, so I get to watch games like last night and really appreciate how fast and hard those guys skate. And good game. In the end, like I said, it just came down to a little better players on one side. Denver just kind of pulled away in the third period. It was tied 2-2 in the second. Anyways, enough about the game. I've got some time, so I'm just going to roll on until they come in here and put me to bed tonight. Like I said, I'm just got left alone, which is rare, but it's getting more and more common. I'm kind of liking it. And some of my classes have been teaching me the importance of the time by yourself to work on your independence, figuring things out. If you check out YouTube, I put a video on there. It's in lots of helping hands too. I linked it, but it's called Functional Skills Class, and it's occupational therapy. And we were opening jars and containers and things in daily life that you don't think about. But when your fingers don't work, you have to improvise ways to do things. That's a good example. I'm just opening a makeup jar. There's another one I gotta find of me opening a coffee container, and just like popping a lid off the yogurt container, opening the toothpaste, opening the deodorant. All these things that you just kind of do in your daily life, now all of a sudden you can't. So you grab it and you're like, just your mind goes to the same place of, oh, just pop the cap off, right? Your hand doesn't work like that anymore. So there's new ways of just relearning. So that class, we work with this guy, Eric. He's a quad, and he has been for probably 16 years, and he's very, very talented. But he's also, he has worked hard and gotten to learn all this stuff and taught himself these things of how to be independent. But it's just great to learn from another person who's already doing it and been through it, because he kind of shows you or talks you through it. And boy, I'd struggle for hours, and then if it wasn't for that class where we'd take 5 minutes, and all of a sudden it's like, no, try this, and practice, and practice, and practice, practice, practice. So that practice helps a ton. And that class really has been good and fun for me. It's just me and one other patient, and she has the same condition, so it's really fun because you realize you're not alone, but you also can talk through these things together. So I bumped into her tonight too, and we were kind of laughing about our days. We call it quad life, where we're doing things, and it's like, oh, quad hands, or it's like these goofy little things that her and I have to kind of commiserate about, but laugh too. Or like going out, and she went out to get her nails done, and it was like, oh my God, I didn't think about how much I had to lean over all the time. And I was like, yeah, I went to the diner down the road, and I get in there and all the tables are too short, so because the power chairs are tall. And I was like, I had to sit next to the table, and they put a tray in my lap, and then I was like, and I forgot my fork, and I have a special fork that I put through my fingers to help, and yada. So it's good, because then we kind of talked actually about solutions and what are some things that we can do, or how does she do it, and how do I do it, and it's good. You kind of do trade notes of, like, I call it the School of Craig, and this is the School of Quadriplegia, or whatever it is. It's like we're all trying to learn this the best we can, and that way they pass us to get on to the next part of our lives. Yeah, it's coming up on 7 weeks. I'm losing track really fast. I don't even know. I may be wrong. It could be 8. And I've been here or injury, but I'm kind of, now it's the other way. I'm kind of counting them down, not because I want to, but because I want the days to slow down so I can get better before I get out of here. It's a good place. They're still saying December 5th, but then again, we haven't really talked about it much. I feel like I'm falling behind a little bit on slide boards. That's a big freedom thing or a big independence thing, being able to transfer. So I haven't been working on that strength to do that. And I need that to get in and out of my chair, in and out of my bed, in and out of my, a car, on and off of a couch, things like that I haven't been able to do yet. That skin thing is just taking a long time to clear up. So Tuesday they had the suprapubic and they did this thing called a wound vac, because the wound on my butt is not healing fast enough. So they tried a wound vac, which they were hesitant to do because it's a lot of work and the dressings are really difficult and tricky to change. And so they did it, and it is finally closing that wound up, which is huge, because there was kind of 2 weeks where it didn't do anything or make any progress, and now we're like almost cleared up in a matter of 2 or 3 days. So yeah, that was Tuesday. Today's Saturday. Tomorrow Sunday. They're going to look at it tomorrow after my shower and make an assessment, and then I'm still scheduled for the pool on Tuesday. Yeah, so I think it's real. I think it's really going to happen Tuesday. I don't want to get too excited about it because it's been wishful thinking, and things have kind of not happened that way. But this is what crossed fingers look like as a quad. So I can try, but it doesn't. See, I got to cross them like that, but kind of weave them together. So, and that's coming up. What else is coming up this week? It's escaping me. Just had a chill day, relaxed, stayed in bed for a while this morning. It's the first day I really kind of first Saturday I just chilled. I was tired, so I laid and slept till 7, which is sleeping in for me, and then drank some coffee and just laid in bed until about 9:30, 10, and talked with Ryan and some other people on the phone. And then went about our day, went down to try and patch a wheelchair tire, but the big bike shop is closed. And like I said, went to the diner. Caught in a rainstorm, which was good, so I had to try to put on my rain jacket. And then I got home and I had to try to take it off and try to take off my other layers, and I did that, but it took me like 15 minutes, just take off a jacket, which can be frustrating, but it's got to be done. I've got to learn how to do it. And then practiced hanging up coats in the closet and folded some clothes poorly, but I did it. Things that didn't been organized, tried to clean and picked up some socks and dropped the sock on the floor and had to figure out how to get it off the floor without falling out of my chair. And, it's the struggles. It's kind of funny, but that's what you do in your day, and you get better and better every day that you do it. So it's so easy for everybody to try it. Everybody tries to always jump in, my dad especially right now because he's here. But he's just sees me struggling and is automatically trying to help me. But it's like, no, I'm starting to learn that I need to struggle as I'm learning, as I'm doing it, because I'll get better at it if I struggle. As I start to figure it out, it's just like crawl, walk, run. Learn to crawl right now. And I've got to start to do all this stuff for myself so that when I'm by myself, which is going to happen, and whether it's on purpose or not, that I've got tools or strength, I can take care of it. And I'll get better with preparations and having tools and things with me too, and not forgetting my fork or etc. So, yeah. But yeah, then I was going to go through some mail tonight real quick to say thanks to a bunch of people who I've got a stack of mail and I've been falling behind on from the week. It's overwhelming again, but a great thing. So, before I get to mail, one thing I wanted to mention is that if anybody has specific questions, I know I've been really trying to respond to emails, but I can't necessarily talk to people on the phone with timing and everything. So that's why I've been doing this. But I'll do a Q&A section in these video blogs if anybody wants to ask specific questions that you think would be good, or you've been dying to know, or you're just curious about where it's going on with me or where I'm at. feel free. If it's off, don't be bashful and about personal questions or things like that too. If I think they're off the limits, then I will not answer them. But for the most part, I think it's important to talk about this stuff because it's real, and that's why I say it's not too personal. And I think that curiosity is important, and it also is helping people understand my condition. And will make it a lot easier, more comfortable down the road for everybody, because for me, answering these questions 1,000 times as I start to see people or reintroduced to community and things like that will be very hard for me and take a lot of time, and I'll start to get frustrated, I'm sure, down the road. But I do want to make sure that you guys know what's happening, because my support team and my friends and people have been keeping up on the videos and checking in on me and sending me stuff. I wish I could send you all a hug in a box, or pay you back, or I know it's a pay it forward thing, and I definitely would do the same for you. But yeah, so that's why I'm just thinking about you all, and want to say thank you, and I'll coming up with some better ways too as we go. I know this is maybe a gift to you all, but trying to give you all something as a token of my appreciation. So feel free to mail questions. If you got my number, text my questions. Mail is probably the best, because then I can just remember them. Otherwise they get lost in the shuffle of the electronic text thing. But if you don't have the address for Craig Hospital, I don't have off the top of my head. It's in Inglewood here. 3240 maybe, 32 something, Clarkson Street, Inglewood, Colorado, ENGLWOOD. Don't know the zip off the top of my head. Organic, readily available information on the internet, and you can call people, but that would be the best way, and that way I can do this sort of thing, do a little mail call and Q&A time. Okay, 22 minutes into this video, you guys are bored, so here we go with some thank you notes. And real quick, I got a new hat in the mail. It says I'm kind of a big deal. I guess I am. CG, I believe, my brother-in-law's brother. Brother-in-law's brother. Brother outlaw? Thanks. And then I got this one too. It says, don't be a Richard. It's funny because my middle name is Richard. So I try not to be. Usually I'm not. I hope I'm not. So I guess with all the people that have been sending time and talking to me, definitely has been, I guess I haven't been too much of a Richard. My neighbor Michelle, again, writes me letters a week. Thanks, Michelle. Keep it coming. I love it. I love hearing about the neighborhood. Love hearing about Beckett. Miss you guys a ton. And hope to be back soon to see you. Let's see, next card. Excuse my time. It's, again, this is a battle of quad hands here. I have hands, but I don't have fingers, so that's why we call them quad hands. They kind of work. They just are not really doing. So, get well card from double card. The Defense Contract Management Agency of Missoula. Wow. I think Bill Maitland, Rod, I think you guys, Jim, it's been a long, long time, and that's out of left field. Thank you guys. So I mean, sometimes the extent of the people who apparently I have affected surprises me. So, wow, thanks guys. Thinking of you guys as well too. The whole team at CM Manufacturing. I hadn't realized they hadn't been contacted. Ken's coming by tomorrow, but just randomly got an email from Sandy, and I was able to let him know that I wasn't able to help out because of my injury, and he definitely was surprised. So yeah, the whole team there, Ken, Amy, Sandy, Gene, Vitali, Trinity, on and on and on. You guys, I miss you. I love you all. I wish I could be there, of course, but you guys have been really, really great to me over the years. So keep up the good work and keep in touch. And of course, the defense contract people. Yeah, wow. Glad I could be helpful, and you guys, I appreciate that.